that India has become an influential power, which will, along with other Asian nations like Japan and China, and in fact, you must remember that most of Russia is also in Asia, which will be at the helm of the creation of what Prime Minister Modi has called the Asian century. Japan, for example, has broken off talks with the Americans.
Former Minister of State for External Affairs MJ Akbar said India has emerged as a star power after standing up to a superpower on principle. He noted that India, along with Japan, China and Russia, will help shape what PM Modi calls the Asian century. His remarks came after PM Modi, Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin met at the 2025 SCO Summit in Tianjin, China.
Two things have emerged out of this weekend, which you mentioned. Number one, that India has become an influential power, which will, along with other Asian nations like Japan and China, and in fact, you must remember that most of Russia is also in Asia, which will be at the helm of the creation of what Prime Minister Modi has called the Asian century. This has happened. It is one of, if you like, the byproducts of the new respect that India has achieved, because India has become what you might call a star power, because it stood up to a superpower on principle, not out of aggression, not out of any fickle behavior, but on principle, that there cannot be two laws in the world. And this really message has resonated. Now you can see the immediate impact of this. You may not have a direct correlation, but certainly you can draw a line. Japan, for example, has now broken off talks with Russia on trade. And that's a very important, has broken off talks with the Americans on trade. It's a very, very important development. It means that now the pushback has started. Countries are willing to stand up.
So,
the second point that has emerged is that all of Trump's trumpeters, they've run out of reasonable and rational things to say. Peter Navarro, who has now become his chief spokesman for attacking India, has not only used a rather quaint and silly phrase like the Brahmins, I don't think he really understands either India, Brahmins or anything else. But also I think he has made analogies which are completely bizarre. He has said India must not deal with Russia because it's an authoritarian state. He said that just around the same time that President Trump said that he wants to meet Kim of North Korea. I mean, second, he said India should not talk to China now because China occupied Aksai Chin. By that measure, America should not be talking to Israel because Israel still occupies the territories it took in 1967. And in fact, if you go back into earlier American history, maybe they should break off relations with Mexico, because they took annexed California from Mexico. And Russians still have a problem about Alaska. So I think these bizarre arguments are becoming very, very counterproductive and diminishing the stature of America. And I think President Trump will have to recognize that he has weakened America. I think it's a very important development because they have shown indications both in their language and in their body language. The language that has been used is extremely in diplomatese and extremely careful usage. For example, Prime Minister Modi in his remarks, repeated the phrase that was the basis of a new relationship between India and China, which is peace and tranquility on the border. On the border, President Xi has also made remarks that we should keep the border aside and get on with developments, because together we can do far more than we can do individually. I think the vision of an Asian century and the talk that President Xi has initiated of a new world order can be brought into some kind of harmony to create a change which will now accelerate. So far it has been almost theoretical. Now it will become practical, it will become potent, and I think the age of superpowers of the 20th century might start to wind down.